We've been talking about Galatians 5:6, which says faith works by love. King James says faith worketh by love. Faith works by love, and we've covered that very thoroughly. And faith is what you believe in your heart and you say with your mouth. But when faith becomes a procedure, it ceases to be effective. If you say it so many times and believe what you're saying, it automatically comes to pass. Now, there was a gentleman that gives great light to this when he gives his testimony. He's a Bible teacher, and he taught on Sunday, and Sunday afternoon got very ill. They rushed him to the emergency room, and they diagnosed him with cancer, said you'll be dead in 24 to 48 hours. He was cancer from stem to stern. He said he just had taught that day, and he's written a book on healing before he was ever sick. And he made a marvelous statement. See, faith works by love. They're intertwined. And if all we have is the procedure, faith is not a procedure. It doesn't work by procedure. Although there is a procedure, and sometimes we lean on, I've said it so many times, I believed every word I've said, I'm keeping saying it, I'm meditating, I'm keeping it in my heart. But the foundation of faith is always love. 1 Corinthians 13:13 says, now abides faith, hope, love, these three. But the greatest of these is love. And love is the platform, the foundation upon which faith is erected. And they work as well as hope. They work together. They're intertwined. It's very important. Well, the Lord dealt with him. He said he didn't hear any voices or anything, but he felt in his heart that he would not die. And he was a year bringing that to pass. Now, that's a long time to be in pain, a long time to have chemotherapy, radiation. Pain is a real faith deterrent, you've noticed. But he said the thing that kept him alive was that faith works by love. He knew God loved him. He knew God had a good plan for his life. And the love of God, the mercy of God, his knowledge of the faithfulness of God is what kept his faith steady. See, faith is not it's not a procedure. It's a response to the love of God. It's not a procedure. It's a response to a loving, merciful Father. And we have to intertwine those in order for a faith to work effectively. Otherwise, if it's just a procedure, now you know how to subtract. You do remember, right? I barely remember. 361 minus 169. Well, in the ones column, you can't subtract 9 from 1, so you got to borrow. And you take 10 from over here, and you put it over here, and then you have 11, 9 from 11. You can do that. It's just a procedure. Unless you have a mind like Einstein, it's just the way it's done. It's just a procedure. And if faith becomes just a procedure, okay, you're going to say it every day, you're going to say it night and day, you're going to read it, you're going to believe it, say it, read it, believe it, say it, read it, believe it. All of that is true. But it's not the heart of the truth. The heart of the truth is that works because God loves you and because his word is true and he's faithful to his word. And it's the love of God, faith works by love, that holds you steady. Now, when I first began to grasp, he helped me so much. He said it was knowing God's nature that kept him alive and brought him to health. And see, once he knew God's nature, he believed and he said, but it's based on the fact that God was faithful.